Hello class, this is lesson 5-2 titled Writing Equations in Standard and Point Slope Form. So instead of the slope-intercept form, there are two more ways that we can write equations of lines. Standard form is ax plus by equal to c. Now a, b, and c should all be integers and a should be positive. Point slope form is, in parentheses, y minus y1 equal to m times x minus x1. So from this format, we can see that there is the slope, which is m, and a point, x1, comma y1. So in this example here, y minus 3 is equal to 2 times x plus 4. Then I can go ahead and rewrite part of it. The x minus negative 4 will then tell me that the point is going to be negative 4 comma negative 3. And the slope is given, it's 2, or 2 over 1. So if I start by plotting my point at negative 4 comma negative 3 and going up 2 and over 1, then I can quickly draw the line of my equation. So today we're going to focus just on writing the equations. This time the line passes through negative 2 comma 7 and it has a slope of negative 3 halves. We're going to write this in point slope form and standard form. So I'm just going to replace things that I know. I know that the point is negative 2 comma 7. So that means it's going to be y minus 7 is equal to, the slope is negative 3 halves, times x minus negative 2. So now to finish, we'll just clean it up. This is y minus 7 equal to negative 3 halves times x plus 2. And that's our equation in point slope form. So now if I want to turn this into standard form, I just need to remove the parentheses and rewrite it so that the x and the y are on the left-hand side. And then I just need to make sure that the a, b, and c are all integers and the a is positive. So let's remove the parentheses first. This would give me negative 3 halves x minus 3. So now I can add 7 to both sides. I'm left with y is equal to negative 3 halves x plus 4. And then I can go ahead and move the x to the left-hand side by addition. That leaves me with 3 halves x plus y is equal to 4. And again, I want to only have integers, so let's just multiply everything by 2. That leaves me a 3x plus 2y equal to 8. And I'm done. All right, let's go ahead and try this again. But this time we have 2 points. We don't have 1 point in the slope. So let's go ahead and take those 2 points to find the slope. Negative 2 minus 18 divided by negative 11 minus negative 16. That leaves us with negative 20 divided by positive 5, which is negative 4. All right, so I have my slope. And so now when I plug in the slope and the point into the formula, it does not matter which point you use. So there could be 2 variations of this equation. So I'm just going to pick one at random, the negative 11 comma negative 2. And that leaves me with y minus negative 2 is equal to negative 4 times x minus negative 11. And then when I clean it up, I get y plus 2 is equal to negative 4 times x plus 11. All right, so now that we have our equation in point slope form, we just need to rewrite it so it is in standard form. We're going to multiply that negative 4 to get rid of the parentheses. So that leaves us with negative 4x minus 44. I can go ahead and subtract 2 from both sides of my equation, and I'm left with y equals negative 4x minus 46. I'm going to add 4x to both sides, and then we'll be done. 4x plus y is equal to negative 46, and that's it. So now for our third example, again, we're going to write the equation of the line that's passing through 8 comma negative 4 and negative 6 comma negative 11 in both point slope and standard form. So let's begin by finding the slope of this line. I'm going to subtract my y values and then subtract the x values underneath. So that leaves us with negative 7 divided by negative 14, which is positive 1/2. So again, I'm going to plug that into my formula, And I can pick either point, so how about I pick the first point this time? So y minus negative 4 is equal to 1/2 times x minus 8. When I clean it up, I have y plus 4 equals 1/2 times x minus 8, and that is my formula in point slope form. One more time, let's rewrite this. So this time, I'm going to just multiply everything by 2. And then this way, I will be able to get rid of the fraction immediately. Okay? So that leaves us with 2y plus 8 is equal to x minus 8. Now I can move that 8 to the opposite side by subtraction. And then I'm left with 2y is equal to x minus 16. Then I'm going to subtract x to move it to the left-hand side. And I'm left with negative x plus 2y is equal to negative 16. But remember, we want it to start with a positive value. So when I divide by negative 1, I have x minus 2y is equal to positive 16. All right, so we've gotten pretty good at writing equations in point slope and standard form. So now let's discuss parallel lines. These are lines that never intersect. So if you look at the two lines that I've drawn, I could find the slope of them, and this is 2 over 1 for the first line, and my other line is also 2 over 1 for its slope. So you should have been able to guess already that parallel lines have the same slope because they're both going the same direction at the same incline. But perpendicular lines do not have the same slope. They intersect at 90 degrees, and so let's just look at their slopes. For this first one, I'm going up 2 and then over 3, so that means the slope is 2/3. For my second line, I'm going down 3 and then over 2. So that means the slope is negative 3 over 2. So notice that the slopes of these are opposite reciprocals. One is positive, one is negative, one is 2/3, the other is 3/2. So we're going to practice to wrap up this lesson by writing an equation in slope-intercept form of the line passing through negative 4, 2 that is parallel to the line y equals 3x minus 5. So since these lines should be parallel to one another, they should have the same slope, which will be 3. So I'm going to use my slope-intercept form to plug in the 3 and to plug in the point negative 4, 2, and this way I can find the b. So I'm going to plug in the 2 for the y, the 3 for the m, and the negative 4 for the x. That leaves me with 2 is equal to negative 12 plus b. And then when I add 12 to both sides, I find that b is equal to 14. So there you have it. I have my slope, which is 3, and my y-intercept, which is 14, to give me my equation in slope-intercept form. For our final example, we're going to write an equation in slope-intercept form of the line that's passing through 1, negative 2 and is perpendicular to the line 3x plus 2y is equal to 12. Unfortunately, since this line is in standard form, we need to rewrite it to find the slope. So I'm going to move that 3x to the opposite side and then divide by 2. I'm left with y is equal to negative 3/2 x plus 6. So the slope is negative 3/2, which means if we were looking for the parallel line, it would also have negative 3/2. But since we're looking for the perpendicular line, we're going to flip it upside down and make it be the opposite sign. So it would be positive 2/3. So now that we have our slope, let's use the point 1, negative 2 to plug both of those into the y equals mx plus b formula. So that's negative 2 is equal to 2/3 times 1 plus b. And so when I multiply that, that's just 2/3. So now let's subtract it from both sides. So negative 2 minus 2/3 is negative 2 and 2/3. So that is our b. But I don't like having mixed numbers in my formula, so when I rewrite this, it would be negative 8/3 as an improper fraction. So to put it all together, our equation is y equals 2/3 x minus 8/3, and we're done. So to wrap up this lesson, we are going to ask ourselves if lines A, B, and CD are parallel, perpendicular, or neither, and all that we need to do is calculate the slopes of both lines to compare them. So for our first example, A is at 6, 8, and B is at 2, 5. So let's go ahead and find the slope. 5 minus 8 over 2 minus 6 is equal to negative 3 over negative 4, which equals positive 3/4. Now for the C, which is negative 6, negative 3, and D, which is 0, 5, I'm going to find the slope. 5 minus negative 3 over 0 minus negative 6 is equal to 8 over 6, which equals 4 over 3. They are reciprocals, but they are not opposite signs, so I would say that they are neither. Our final example, A is 4, 10, and B is negative 1, 12. So when I find the slope, I have 12 minus 10 over negative 1 minus 4, which equals 2 over negative 5, or I could just say negative 2/5. Now C is at 6, negative 5, and D is at 1, negative 3. So to find the slopes, I have negative 3 minus negative 5 over 1 minus 6, and that leaves us with 2 over negative 5, or negative 2/5. So since they are the same slope, these are going to be parallel lines, and we are done. So I hope that this lesson made sense to you on point slope form, standard form, and then throwing in the parallel and perpendicular lines. But as always, if you have any questions, let me know when you come into class.